What are the best places to invest in Perth right now under $500,000? Perth is providing some brilliant opportunity for property investors, resilient markets to rate movements. If you're still looking to invest and you have that desire to create wealth, passive income in an environment where you can beat inflation, where inflation is eroding the money in your bank, but you want to beat that, there is still countless opportunities across Australia. In this video, we'll be going in a deep dive on 4 or 5 or 6 Perth suburbs, and I'll be sharing some brand new data that's just been released. So if that's what you're interested in, carry on watching. My name is PK and I help people build passive income using data, really using Property Investment Accelerator without needing to, plonk down $15,000 on a buyer's agent every single time. If you're brand new to this channel, hit the like button, hit subscribe, let's go. So what you're seeing here, this is PropTrack data. You can find it for yourself. What you're seeing is a report on where it is cheaper to buy in Perth versus rent. The theory goes, and it's backed up with data, and there's always exceptions to any rule, but the rule or the theory goes is if an area it's cheaper to buy than to rent, renters, of whom there are many, they will say, look, why am I renting? Rent money is dead money unless you're rent vesting. Different videos on that. I'm going to start buying here, and that will then cause more demand on the buying side and house prices rise sustainably, because these aren't investors necessarily, they're owner occupiers, they're more sticky. All right, that's the theory. I've just done a video on Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane deep dive on these areas, so you can go check that out. I'll leave a link right here. In this video, in this report, you can see that the more red there is, the more suburbs there are in Perth where it's cheaper to buy than to rent. And you can see that Perth is littered all the way up in the Joondalup area, the north, up near Tapping over here, out down south in the Rockingham area, all the way almost to the CBD from the coastline from Rockingham. And the thing that I want to share with you is the top suburbs. So here's one, Hilman, then there's Medina, Parmelia, Hilbert, Leda, Coolingup, Bertram, etc., etc. Now, this doesn't mean that, all of a sudden, because this data factor is good, that everything is perfect. You need to do your due diligence, and I've shown you some basics on how to do that in other videos. But I just want to demonstrate or show you that if you brought up this chart in Sydney or Melbourne, there's basically no red. In other words, there are no good areas where it's cheaper to buy than to rent. And that's one of the reasons, just one of the reasons why I'm very, very bearish on Sydney and Melbourne. And I have been for more than 6 to 8 months. But you can see Perth presents some fantastic opportunities. This is freestanding houses. All right. And if you go to now units, you can see that there's even more opportunity in Perth. Almost every single suburb, everywhere where there's reliable data, units are presenting themselves as good opportunities to buy because it's easier or cheaper to buy than to rent. Areas like Wanneroo, Wattleup, Brabham, Leda. But what I will say is what's the point in buying a unit when you can buy a house, right? Come back to this chart. We should only consider units, or townhouses, I should say, villas, much like I've done a deep dive on Brisbane, where you should be buying in Brisbane potentially. You should only consider townhouses when all the freestanding housing options are exhausted. But in Perth, there's so much opportunity. And so let's go into Hilman, right? This is the Rockingham area. And lots of people have been interested in Rockingham. I can say that, we were buying, my clients have probably bought more than 200 properties in and around Coolingup, Waikiki, Warnbro, all the way down to Secret Harbour. We started buying there early last year, and then many of the buyers agents sort of have come in this year, and we're not really buying in this area so much. So, this is not at the bottom of the market. Many areas like Warnbro have already gone up 40%. My clients have enjoyed that growth, but relatively speaking, compared to many areas on the East Coast, these are better buying conditions than, what you'll find on the East Coast. So I'm just giving you some relativity or some relative context there. But places places like Hilman, there's still some good buying opportunity because lots of people are looking to buy there, not just investors, but owner occupiers. Medina as well, a little bit further north, in this council area. Another one is Parmelia, which is over here. Now, not as good as if you were going close to the ocean. Really the best buying was kind of, on the west side of the Warnbro South Avenue. This is kind of closer to the ocean. This was the best buying, but those areas have gone up well over 40-50% in the last 1 or 2 years now. So you kind of have to see, where is the ripple effect taking us? Where is that higher price movement creating pressure in neighboring suburbs, neighboring neighborhoods, where the next price growth will occur? And these are some areas, just like in this chart over here: Coolinga, Bertram, Aurelia, Armadale, Hilbert, Parmelia. Now, the thing that you need to be very, very, very careful of is just saying, oh, look, this whole area has a great cluster of strength. I'm going to buy anywhere in the south of Perth, all the way from Bibra Lake down to Mandurah. Now, there are good pockets to buy down there, but you have to be very careful. For example, Baldivis, I see on a lot of forums like Property Chat, in my own Facebook group, a lot of people are saying, is Baldivis, Baldivis, however you pronounce it, is that a good area to buy in? For me, the answer is across. It is no. And of course, in the short term, you're seeing price movement, you're seeing price growth happen. That is a fact, because Perth is just going from leaps and bounds, completely different to what's happening in Sydney, Melbourne, what the media is telling you. But, areas like Baldivis, you just have to click the satellite view. You don't even need that much science to realize that, look, although it's a nice residential area, not a bad place to live, there's so much paddocks, so much farmland around. And so when that gets developed, when the council rezones that into low density residential or medium density residential, there's a lot of supply that comes onto the market, and supply is the enemy of growth. And what you have is, a lot of property investment companies like Freedom Property Investors, etc. They get their clients into, house and land packages, etc. around here. But for mine, that breaks the fundamental rule of property investing, which is to say, don't buy brand new just because of depreciation. And if you don't know the reason, I've done other videos on that as well. And also, it breaks the rule of scarcity. We only want to buy in places where there's scarcity. Don't be fooled, but understand this for yourself. I read this amazing thing on a forum the other day, and it was saying that no buyer's agent is signing their own name on a contract for sale. You're signing your name on a contract for sale. So understand where you're buying, understand what you're buying. Don't just go for a buyer's agent because they have great YouTube videos, or they seem like they know what they're doing, because at the end of the day, you're the one signing on the dotted line. And none of this is rocket science. I can tell you, all the other buyers agents on YouTube right now, they're buying in areas like that. I've just told you that they are, right? I don't care what their house name is, this house, that house, they're all buying in this area. So why are you spending $15,000 for them to pluck a property off realestate.com or domain and send it to you for you to sign, right? All these areas are good areas, but I would just warn you that be careful around not buying where there's too much supply coming on. But back to the principle of this video, before I went off on a rant, many areas around Perth, all the way from down here, up here to Jandakot, well, not the commercial area, but around the residential areas around it, going up to the Joondalup area, up to Tapping, Banksia Grove, Mirrabooka, a lot of these areas, it's cheaper to buy than to rent. Now, does that mean you can put a blindfold on and just buy anywhere? No, but you can learn how to do that. It's not hard. You can understand the, 20, 25 data factors that it takes, and then come down to the street level, the property level. Point of this story, the point of this video is Perth has so much opportunities. I've just shared with you 4 or 5 top suburbs that you can deep dive. So much opportunity in Perth. If you're on the East Coast and you're like, the property market's crashing, it's not crashing, just pick up the phone. Like, don't listen to me. I might be making stuff up. Pick up the phone. Talk to some real estate agents. Can't trust real estate agents? Fine. Talk to some conveyancers in Perth. Can't trust conveyancers? Fine. Talk to some property managers in Perth. Can't trust property managers? Fine. Talk to some building and pest inspectors in Perth. Can't trust building and pest inspectors? Talk to accountants in Perth. Everyone will say that Perth property is doing well, and they think that it's sustainable. You can justify and validate that for yourself using data, but don't just be put off by these media headlines saying, nowhere is good to invest. This PropTrack data is amazing. It really is a forward forward leading indicator of where price growth may occur, because there's not many areas around Australia, in fact very few, that it's saying it's cheaper to buy than to rent. Definitely not Sydney, definitely not Melbourne, definitely not even units in Sydney or Melbourne, not even houses in Brisbane, only townhouses in Brisbane, no Gold Coast. It's only Perth that it's kind of pointing to, and other regional areas in Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria. All right, guys, hopefully that was useful. If it was, smash the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and just always invest in your own real estate. These 6 inches between your 2 ears, that is the most important real estate that you'll ever own. Go deep, go hard, back yourself, be confident. Property investing is not that hard, even though it seems that these experts, including me, have so much more knowledge than you. It's not a huge chasm that you can't climb over, that you can't jump over. I'm no smarter than you. I'm no more intelligent than you. Anyone can understand that, and you owe it to yourself, because right now, inflation rate 6%, 7%, your money is going backwards. You have to do something. Are you going to put it in the stock market? If you are, go for it. I don't have any information or insight on that, but if you are looking to put it in bricks and mortar, reliable, long-term real estate investment, then Perth and these suburbs are some areas that you should be drilling further down into. All right, guys, I really look forward to doing the next video with you. I'll leave links below to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, and Spotify. And as always, the Facebook group, more than 20,000 amazing people. I'll leave those links below. Join the community, and I'll see you there. Catch you later. Bye.